So, I'm here with my grandma. How am I related to you?
You are my grandson.
About how long have you been married?
We've been married 56 years. In June, it'll be 56 years.
How did you meet your grandpa?
We went to school together. We both graduated from Heelan in 1960, and we went to the junior prom together. But we didn't really go out or anything until probably a year and a half out of high school. And then Grandpa went to the seminary for a little while, and then he came home. And then he called me, and we went out. He had hurt he was working on construction. He had hurt his ankle, so he called me, and we went to a movie, and we just and then it would be maybe 3 or 4 weeks in between, and then pretty soon it was every week we were seeing each other, and we started dating about a year and a half or 2 years out of school.
So, how long did you guys date before you guys got engaged?
Oh, probably at least a year. We were engaged in November, and we got married the following June.
So, how many kids do you have?
We have 6 children. We have 3 boys and 3 girls.
When did you guys get married?
We got married in 1960 at St. John's Church in Willis, Nebraska. The church isn't there anymore. It's been torn down. And I was the organist there when I was in high school until I got married. And then we moved to Sioux City. We had an apartment, and we belonged to Cathedral Parish.
Okay. Have you always wanted to be married?
I think so. I think I always wanted to be married.
Best memory of your partner?
Oh, there's a lot of memories. 56 years gives a lot of memories, but he was always there for me and supported me all the time, and seemed like he always put me first. So.
Had you dated before?
No, not really. An occasional date, but nothing that ever lasted beyond 1 or 2 dates.
Does marriage go how you think it would?
Pretty much so, yes. I think so. We've been blessed. We have many blessings, our children, and we've really never had any serious problems as far as sickness and he's always had a job. I was a stay-at-home mom, and until the kids were, I think Lori was in the 8th grade, and then I started working at a hardware store that we owned with our oldest son and his wife, but up until then I was here with the children, and it was a good life. I liked it. I did a lot of volunteer work. I was with Girl Scouts, and I did a lot of volunteer work at church and with Birthright, and my days were full.
So what was the wedding like?
It was a nice day. It was my mother's birthday. It was on a Saturday, of course, and it was June 29th, so it was a very warm day. And back in those days, 56 years ago, you didn't have air conditioning in church, and you didn't have air conditioning in the hall where we had the reception. But other than that, it was a very nice day, and we got married at 10 o'clock in the morning, so the reception lasted until probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we didn't have a wedding dance, but we had a good time, and it was a nice day. I remember it very well.
Okay. So how did you get ready for marriage?
We took a pre-Cana course at the time. It lasted probably 3 or 4 weeks, and they gave us a lot. It was a married couple that talked to us. I think there was a doctor that talked to us, and I don't believe there was a priest there, but maybe there was. I don't remember that very well, but that was our preparation for marriage.
So I'm here with my dad interviewing him. Yesterday I interviewed my grandma and got some answers. Today we're gonna see if we can get any sort of different answers from her. Or from him. I'm gonna be asking pretty much the same exact questions. So yeah. So how am I related to you?
Kenny, you are my firstborn son.
How long have you been married for?
Susan and I have been married for 18 and a half years.
How did you guys meet initially?
Susan and I met initially when I was at work and she was at work. I worked for an optical lab downtown Sioux City, and Susan worked for an optical lab that made lenses for us, and she would do the trips and deliver those lenses. And so I would see her every day. And during those times I would see her, we would strike up conversations, and that's how we met.
How did you or had you dated long before you guys got married?
Susan and I dated probably 3 or 4 years before we got married.
How many kids did you guys have?
Susan and I have 2 kids, 2 boys. You, Kenny, and your brother, Michael.
Where did you guys get married?
Susan and I got married at a small country church out by Merrill, Iowa called Ellendale.
Have you always wanted to be married?
Yes, for the most part, sure. I've always wanted to be married. Just wanted to make sure I had to find the right one first.
Do you have any good memories of your partner or any specific ones?
Lots of great memories. The best 2 are probably when you and your brother were born.
Had you dated before?
Yes, dated before, sure.
Does marriage go how you thought it would?
Yes. There's some challenges at times, but nothing you can't work through. Marriage is great.
So, Dad, as your son, what advice would you give to me for marriage?
Kenny, the advice I would give to you for marriage would be to take your time. Be sure to find the right one. Find a girl that shares your beliefs and your morals, and understand that marriage isn't always fun. It takes work, but it is absolutely the best part of your life.
So then, Dad, how exactly did you view marriage when you were growing up?
Well, Kenny, when I was growing up, I had some very good examples of marriage for me. The first and foremost being your grandma and grandpa. I learned and saw and witnessed firsthand how a marriage, a partnership, a couple, how they work through challenges and day-to-day activities with the planning, and how they work together to build a family, sustain the family, and grow, and that continues to this day.
Okay, so I'm here with my mom. We already know how I'm related to her and stuff, and I've already asked those other questions quite a bit. So I have some new questions that I'm gonna ask her. So what role has your faith played in your marriage?
I think that I wanted to make sure that I married a person of the same faith, and we wanted to raise our children in the Catholic faith. We went to church, and we're sending both the boys to Heelan at this time.
What do you love most about your partner?
I love that he's a nice guy, but the thing that I love the most about him is that he knows me, and he knows what I like, and he can stop somewhere and get some, and he knows what my favorite things are and stuff like that.
Okay, Mom, so how has marriage, or your marriage exactly, changed throughout the years?
Well, I think the biggest change was that we didn't have kids when we first got married. So once you have kids, you have to realize that that's, an equal responsibility, and you have to work together to make sure that you're raising them correctly. It's a lot more responsibility than when we first got married and it was just your dad and I. But you work together at it, and so I guess that's the major way it's changed.
So one thing that a lot of families do when they get married is that they usually have a couple of animals. Have you guys had animals in the past, and how many do we have right now?
We both had animals growing up, and so we knew that we both liked animals. So yes, we've always had either cats, dogs, fish, lizards, you name it, we've had it. Right now we have 2 dogs, a cat, and a fish and a lizard.